San Francisco and Oakland are connected by a bridge often overshadowed by its more famous neighbor. But don't be fooled. This bridge, especially its eastern span, was once a groundbreaking marvel, a $6.5 billion engineering feat. The replacement of this bridge marked one of the most ambitious projects in American history. It stretches from the mainland to an island, holding the title of the widest bridge in the world. A decade after its completion, this engineering wonder faces shadows from the past, controversies and whispers about its flaws. But let's rewind and uncover the story of this mighty structure. To understand the urgency behind the replacement, we need to go back to the original Bay Bridge. The bridge's eastern span was always a concern for seismic experts. Sitting precariously close to the San Andreas and Hayward faults, the potential for disaster was a ticking time bomb. Despite this knowledge, no significant action was taken until 1989. That's when the Loma Prieta earthquake struck. With a magnitude of 6.9, it shook the Bay Area to its core. Though the epicenter was miles away, the tremors caused a 50-foot section of the bridge's upper deck to collapse onto the lower deck, claiming one life and leaving a sobering message. The bridge was not as invincible as it seemed. The aftermath was a wake-up call. Engineers rushed to rebuild and retrofit, strengthening the structure temporarily. But the reality remained. This was a fragile fix, a patch on a wound that needed major surgery. Studies in 1999 painted a grim picture. There was a 70% chance of another major quake within the next 30 years. It was time for a more permanent solution. When it came to designing the new span, they didn't just want to rebuild. They aimed to create something revolutionary. The chosen design was a self-anchored suspension bridge, a rare and complex choice. Traditional suspension bridges rely on massive external anchors to hold their cables. Not this one. The Bay Bridge's new span uses a single tower with an asymmetrical design. The cables are anchored directly into the deck, counterbalancing the immense tensile forces with compressive strength. This method was chosen specifically because of the soil conditions between Yerba Buena Island and Oakland. It wasn't just about building a bridge, it was about building a structure that could stand firm on unstable ground. A key element of the design involved counterbalancing the shorter western span with the longer eastern span using a large concrete end weight at the western pier. Flexibility was the name of the game. The bridge was designed to absorb the energy from a maximum credible earthquake, ensuring that it remained functional for emergency vehicles immediately after an 8.5 magnitude quake. They even included sacrificial components in the tower, designed to absorb motion and protect the main structure. Construction kicked off in January 2002, and they started with the Skyway. To support the foundation, they avoided bedrock entirely, founding the pilings in archaic mud. These pilings were driven at an angle, forming a battered footing that extended into the firmer layers beneath the mud. Once in place, they poured a reinforced concrete footing to support the main columns, which were connected to viaduct segments. It was a masterclass in engineering. Massive segments were fabricated off-site and lifted into place using specialized equipment. A 700-ton precast segment, for instance, would be raised by a colossal cantilever lift. The project even involved temporarily rerouting the bridge, constructing a curved approach to facilitate traffic while building the new span. The level of precision and coordination required to pull this off was remarkable. Traffic closures were kept to a minimum. The new section was built right next to the original, and during a tight construction window, the old section was slid out, and the new one was jacked into place. All of this completed in just a few days. The centerpiece of the project was the SAS Tower, constructed in 5 phases. In July 2010, the first set of columns was erected. Step by step, piece by piece, the tower rose. The second set came in October, raising the height to 272 feet. By December, with the third set of columns, the tower reached 374 feet. February 2011 saw the final set, topping the tower at a staggering 480 feet. The final phase was to install the 500-ton grillage and the 450-ton cable saddle at the tower's apex. By December 2011, the deck placement and tower assembly were complete, paving the way for the cable work. The cable work was another feat of innovation. Unlike conventional suspension bridges, where individual wires are spun into place, this bridge used mile-long prefabricated cable bundles. These bundles were pulled and tensioned at the eastern anchor point. A total of 137 bundles formed the entire cable, temporarily tied together until properly compacted. In 2013, suspender cables were hung over saddles on the main cable and attached to the deck. Here, unlike other bridges, the deck was not suspended during construction. It was pre-assembled and resting on temporary supports. Each suspender cable had to be tensioned meticulously to balance the load, ensuring that by November 2012, the bridge became self-supporting. The temporary falsework was finally removed and the project neared its grand opening. And then, on September 2nd, 2013, the new Bay Bridge opened to traffic. This moment was the culmination of years of meticulous planning, engineering, and sheer determination. Just 3 days later, a photo of the bridge under a clear sky made headlines, a symbol of the hard work and vision that went into completing this modern marvel. The final chapter involved dismantling the old bridge piece by piece until it was nothing but a memory. By November 2017, the project concluded, and the bridge stood as a testament to human ingenuity. But the story of the Bay Bridge replacement isn't without its dark clouds. Controversies surfaced, starting with allegations in 2005 about weld defects. An FBI investigation probed claims from welders and inspectors that up to 1/3 of the welds were rushed and covered up. Tests were conducted, and although officials claimed they met specifications, doubts lingered. More concerns arose in 2011 when reports hinted at falsified inspection data related to the bridge's deep pile foundations. The scrutiny led to calls for independent reviews, casting a shadow over the project's credibility. The challenges didn't stop there. In 2013, just months before opening, large bolts securing parts of the bridge deck failed. Repairs cost millions and raised questions about oversight. Despite these hurdles, the bridge stands today, an engineering marvel that, despite its imperfections, represents the relentless pursuit of progress. California's Bay Bridge replacement is more than just a bridge. It's a story of challenges met with innovation, of failures turned into triumphs. Despite the controversies, despite the unexpected twists, this project stands as a beacon of engineering mastery, a reminder that even the most ambitious undertakings can be accomplished with enough vision and grit.